Casper Carrot. Casper Carrot is one of the Munch Bunch. He lives in an old sack near Spud and Tom Tomato. Casper worries all the time. There is never a moment, day or night, when he stops worrying. One night, Casper could not sleep. He had a very big decision to make. Ollie Onion and Pete Pepper had asked him to go fishing with them, and Billy Blackberry and Scruff Gooseberry had asked him to go to the seaside with them. Poor Casper. He couldn't decide what to do. He was a very worried carrot. So first thing the next morning, he went for a walk to help him make up his mind. If I go to the seaside, Pete will be cross with me, and Ollie will cry. And if I go fishing by the river, Billy and Scruff might swim out too far, or even be eaten by sea monsters. Oh dear, what shall I do? Worried Casper. Button and Tiny Mushroom were busy spring cleaning. They were taking their furniture into the garden so they could scrub and polish the house all over. What are you doing? Asked Casper anxiously. You shouldn't be lifting that heavy furniture. You might hurt yourselves. And what if it rains and spoils your settee? But before they had time to answer, Casper had hurried away. Casper was still worrying about his big decision when he came to Pippa Pear's house, but he soon had something else to worry about. Through the window, he could see Pippa dishing up an enormous helping of jam pudding for Adam Avocado. Watch you don't burn your mouths on that hot jam, yelled Casper. But he didn't wait for a reply. He had other things on his mind. Casper had only walked a little way further when he saw Corny on the cob mowing his lawn. Be careful with that lawnmower, Corny. It might get out of control and run away with you, or it might even cut you. Corny was very puzzled. But before he could ask Casper what all the fuss was about, Casper had hurried away. Casper was still worrying about his big decision. Should he go to the seaside, or should he go fishing? Then he saw Bounce the spring onion doing some weightlifting. Why are you doing that? Asked Casper. It's a very dangerous hobby for someone as small as you. But Bounce was lifting such a heavy weight that he couldn't answer, and Casper didn't have time to wait around. Suddenly, Casper was being attacked. He was drenched by a stream of cold water. Keep off my property, old-timer, drawled a voice from behind a tree. It was Peanut, pretending that he was a cowboy again, and firing at Casper with his water pistol. Don't do that, shouted Casper. I'm soaking wet, and I might catch a cold. Then I wouldn't be able to go to the seaside or go fishing either. Casper marched away, muttering to himself. He was now a very worried, angry carrot. But soon Casper forgot his bad temper and found something else to worry about. He saw Super Cool the cucumber and Susie Celery high up in a tree, standing on some very wobbly pieces of wood. Hello, Casper. We're building a treehouse, called Super Cool. Casper was horrified. It doesn't look safe to me. One puff of wind would knock it down, and you'd both land on your heads. Just as Casper finished speaking, there was a loud creaking and groaning noise, and the wobbly treehouse crashed to the ground. There, I told you so, said Casper, rushing to help them. Casper patched up their bruises and bandaged their sore arms and legs. I have good reason to worry about you two, he said. Fancy calling that contraption a treehouse. You should ask Professor Peabody to draw up a plan for you. Then Casper realized it was getting late, and he still hadn't made his big decision. So Casper went home and started to get ready for his outing. He searched in his cupboard and found his fishing rod and nets, just in case he went fishing. And he found his swimming trunks and rubber ring, in case he went to the seaside. Then Casper sat in his armchair for a little rest. He felt very tired after all his worrying. I'll decide in a minute, he said to himself. But he soon fell asleep, dreaming about his big decision. While Casper was still asleep, the others met on his doorstep. Why don't we all go out together? Suggested Billy Blackberry. What a good idea, said Pete Pepper. We can fish in the sea. What do you think, Ollie? But before Ollie could answer, Casper opened his door. Oh no, what am I going to do? He said. Don't worry, Casper. We've all decided to go out together, said Ollie. So I haven't got anything to decide after all, said Casper. They had a lovely afternoon at the seaside. Billy and Scruff played in the shallow water with their beach ball. Pete was quite happy fishing in the sea, and Ollie decided that he would rather play sandcastles. And Casper? He sat in his deck chair, keeping a watchful eye on everybody through his binoculars. So really, Casper had nothing to worry about at all, did he?